Okay, so before we open up for second visitor comments, I just want to, since this is a committee, a working committee, there's a couple follow-ups. Dave, you could flip to the Zoom view. So what I would recommend is, based on the questions asked today and some things to continue to work on, and then if we need to reconvene this committee, I'll talk with President Zales. She had to step out, but we would probably resume this. If we had another meeting, it would probably be that first week of August, last week of July, somewhere in there, in the next month. Hopefully by then. Dr. Freitas needs to revise the AP data and the plan that you plan to address, use to address that goal. Mr. Mannon will continue to follow the IDPH and ISB updates in regards to health and safety and what's required and recommended. Ms. Augustine assessing and identifying how the SELs are they using those resources and how we're going to pre-assess that and post-assess that. And then communication. Obviously, all areas need to, all these areas and all the administrators related to those areas need to work on the communication piece. I know President Zales touched on it as a full board, but we're also trying to put more out. It seems to be like Instagram and Facebook, some of those things seem to be our fastest way to getting information when people are checking on a regular basis and not necessarily going to the website to look for the information. So we want to make sure we're over communicating this. And I think it's important to reiterate that remote learning will not be an option unless there's an identified medical plan, and that remote option will not be provided by Riverside Brookfield High School. So I think that's important. As the state superintendent of education mentioned in her thing, the in-person or the remote option that schools have to provide is only if a student's under quarantine and can't be vaccinated. So they have to meet both variables. So I think Mr. Jacobs brought that point up, and Ms. Lindquist, if we want to maybe even make that more clear on your slide, that'd be appreciative. Are there any other comments from the board members before we adjourn, or ask if there's any additional visitor questions?
So I just, that is in like that's in line with what I'm hearing from other schools, right? That they're giving an online option or an option that is not administered by their staff. So that's what I'm hearing from other high school educators. So we're in lot, that seems to be the way that it's going. I just want to thank all of you who worked so hard on this plan. I appreciate a student-centered, data-driven plan. I think this is a huge step forward, a great way to reset the year. I know that everyone from the people in the lunchroom to the person who unlocks the doors all the way up to Dr. Skinkis is going to do their best to bring us back to better, and I think this plan is a great guide for that. And so again, I think I just want to tell you how appreciative I am of all the hard work that I know that you've put into this, and all the lots of hours in the, making sure that this part of the organization has what they need and this part has what they need. There's a lot of moving parts here, and you've all done a great job, so thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Freitas, obviously the month of July will be implementation, final planning stages. You'll be working directly with your team, correct? And this will be, and then hopefully if we reconvene this group before the start of the school year, everything will be ready in final draft phase.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Dave, is there one more question? Go ahead, Mr. Van Hurst.
I'm just going to conclude by once again saying thank you. I think this has been a good guide in getting started and all the work that's going to come ahead. As we bring students back, we can see that collaboration and cooperation are extremely important, and it's been obvious that those who were most successful in this very strange year were those who were able to shift and communicate, collaborate, and cooperate in a productive manner. So hopefully those are lessons that we're working to give to our students as well, because they're in the midst of this as well. And thank you all for all the extremely thoughtful input that went into this presentation. That's a good guide for us to understand, and hopefully for the larger community out there to understand what we are trying to do as an entity. So thank you very much for all the work that went into this.
Thank you. Anyone ask if there's any other visitors?
Are there, this is the second opportunity for visitor statements. Are there any? If so, please come up to the table. Okay, being the lone person in the room, I will make the motion to adjourn, and I need a second from someone on Zoom. Please.
Second.
Okay, great. Ms. Gaska, I think, beat him to the punch there. Okay. Yeah.
Yep. Thank you, everybody. Thank
Thanks,
you, everybody.
everyone.